everybody. So yesterday I had the chance to see the latest film and to be released that called The Disaster Artist. And my friend David Healy is here with me to do this review. And we're going to talk about our films about The Room and this movie about the making of The Room. And we are also going to be doing a podcast after this that we're going to talk about the upcoming season, winter movie season. And so you definitely want to check that out. And but let's talk a little bit about The Disaster Artist. First of all, David, tell me what you thought about The Room itself. What's your experience with that?
Okay, so I had never seen The Room, but I had heard quotes from it. I've seen little clips from it, but I finally decided I have to watch this. So my friends and I, we gathered on Sunday at one of their houses, and we watched it for the first time, and it didn't disappoint. Yeah, it was really bad, but in the best kind of way.
Yeah.
So it just made me even more excited to see The Disaster Artist and see, like, what was this guy thinking making this movie and making the choices he made. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a movie to be seen with a group if you can. I think it makes it more fun. And I saw it at the theaters, and I knew it was the worst, the best bad movie ever made is always what I knew that. But like I wasn't completely aware of like how long the sex scenes are and how weird they are, or how like some of the elements caught me off guard, I should say, but in a funny way, in a crazy way. And I actually went to the riff tracks version of it where they have their commentary, and they were so funny. I was dying laughing. And so if you can't watch it with a group, I recommend downloading the riff tracks commentary. And I thought that was hilarious. And so yeah, it's I'm not the biggest person when it comes to so bad it's good movies. But they tend to be really funny for me for a little bit, and then I kind of start to lose interest, I guess. But this is just, I don't know. It is crazy. It's so much better. It's so much better than like something like a Sharknado, which is made to be a B movie. You know, this was just like so obviously sincere and so weird. That I think it's much more entertaining.
Right. And I think that a lot of what makes these type of movies enjoyable is being able to have a group of people that you're watching with and making fun of it together.
Yeah.
So otherwise I could see that these type of movies might not be as enjoyable if you're watching them by yourself, or if you're at a theater where you have to be quiet. So it actually inspired my group of friends. We're actually going to once a month do a bad movie viewing. So that'll be fun. We have lots of options here. Next month we're going to go with Showgirls.
I've heard that. It's so bad it's good one. Yeah. That's fun. That sounds really fun. I wish my friends would. Well, my friends actually, we do kind of do that in a way. We have this Utah movie club, and we watch pretty bad live action Disney films from like the 60s. Like they're not that bad as Room, but they're pretty bad. So that's kind of become our thing. So anyway, it's fun. It's fun to do. So The Disaster Artist is a loving look. You could easily have this be just like making fun of Tommy and making fun of, because Tommy Wiseau is the madman behind The Room. And it could easily just be sort of making fun of him and his things. But this ends up being similar to Ed Wood. Have you ever seen Ed Wood?
Yes, I love Ed Wood.
I love it. And it's kind of similar to that, you know, saying like, here's somebody who had a dream and actually did it. And it's kind of about also the relationship between Greg Sestero and Tommy Wiseau. And it's based on a book, and the book is really good. And so what did you think of The Disaster Artist?
I mean, I really enjoyed it, to get straight to the point. But first, when I got to the theater, they gave us these little Tommy's pen.
Cool.
I don't know if you got one, but
no, I didn't.
We went to the very first showing on Thursday night, so
okay.
I don't know if it was something just for Thursday night showing, But yeah, anyways, the movie, it was a lot more layered than I expected. I mean, I empathize with a lot of the characters. It made me emotional. Like I was very sad at moments. I was upset at moments, and I thought it would just be more straightforward, something to laugh at.
Yeah.
But I appreciated all the angles that they took the film from.
Yeah. I do too. I think getting to see sort of the backstory of Greg, and it's sort of his journey, because he really wants to be an actor, and he meets this person, Tommy, that he really admires for his like boldness, because he's really shy at first, and I think that just draws you into their story and their characters. And I think that both, because you have James Franco and Dave Franco, brothers, obviously, and I think that their like chemistry together really helps, because it's not just like, I don't know, it just as an example, like there's those terrible unauthorized like Full House movies, or unauthorized Saved by the Bell or whatever, where they're just doing these horrible impressions of like something like that. And this just so easily could have been that, but it's not just like a lame impression of Tommy or Greg, I guess. This is actually like a character, and it's a person, and it's, it's interesting, and they definitely do a good job creating like the enigma of Tommy, I think, because that's what he is pretty much. Did you like James Franco?
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, what did you think of his performance in it?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sold on the trailers, because I felt like his accent wasn't quite there, quite right. But I have to say, when they compared the two, like if you stay around for the credits, it's like, wow, maybe I was wrong. Maybe it does sound really close. And right. So yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I mean, his wig could have been a little bit better, but that would be my only nitpick, I guess.
Yeah. I thought they did a great job of really making him look like Tommy, in subtle ways. Like his eyes, kind of like one of his eyes is more closed than the other. Tommy has really sunken cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept thinking, like, how is James Franco making his cheeks so sunk in? But then I heard later on that he had like prosthetics on his face.
Oh, did really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that makes more sense. I was like, how did he do this transformation? But now it's a bit more understandable. And just watching it, like, I'd heard a bit of Oscar buzz for James Franco, and
yeah.
I would love to see him get nominated for Best Actor.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't feel like this year has been, I feel like there's been a lot of really good ensemble films this year, but I don't feel like there's been a lot of like actor, lead, great lead performances, in my opinion. But like, I mean, this definitely would be on my list for sure if I was making a best actor, because it wasn't just an impression, it wasn't just a caricature, it was a person, and he was an enigma, and he is an enigma, and I thought they played it out well. And I don't know, they just managed to like make these characters but not make fun of them, really, like, I don't know, I was just very successful in tone, I thought.
Yeah, I agree. And you could tell that James Franco really, really, really studied Tommy to make sure he nailed everything.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that effort that he put into it. Right now, he would be my front runner based on movies that I've seen for Best Actor. But of course, we haven't seen Darkest Hour yet, and I'm sure Gary Oldman is a lock to win.
Yeah.
I'm hearing good things about Daniel Day-Lewis as well.
Right.
But right now, yeah, I definitely think James Franco's in the conversation. Also, did you stick around to see the post-credits scene?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. We had left the theater, and we were all talking about the movie outside, and then I heard talking come back on the screen. So my group of people, we all just rushed back in the theater to catch that post-credit scene.
Yeah. Well, I think what I like about this movie is that it's all about just like the power of sort of creating something. And you can say, yeah, he created something that's terrible, but like, what have you done with your life? What have you made? You know what I mean? Like there's something really powerful. Like, yeah, like, I don't know, just my little, let's just say my little, videos on YouTube or whatever may not be like the best made in the world, but like if somebody was going to, just like, well, what have you made? What have you been doing? What have you created? And there's something just sort of like powerful and inspiring about creating things. I also found it really like interesting the way that he was trying to be. I never had thought about the fact that he was trying to be like Tennessee Williams, and James Dean or whatever, I should have, because tearing me apart or whatever, but I'm not an expert on a Rebel Without a Cause, I guess. But I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting that he was like trying to be like this Marlon Brando kind of character.
Yeah, that is interesting. I hadn't thought about that either. But then again, I just saw the original.
Right.
So.
You're tearing me apart.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, what did you think of? Did you like Dave Franco as Greg?
I did. I thought he did a pretty good job. He looked a bit like Greg, not completely. I mean, there's only so much you can do. There's a height difference between the two. Right. But yeah, he did an adequate job. I think he's a pretty good actor. I don't think Dave Franco's ever going to be a great actor.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he didn't look as much like James Franco looked like Tommy. Right. But it worked. And I thought it was a really effective scene. The whole part with Bryan Cranston, and they managed to make him look younger. That was weird. And that whole like part, I didn't know about that. That was interesting. All the supporting cast was really good. The girl they got to play Lisa was really good, I thought.
I agree. Yeah, they kept showing like different people coming in casting for the part, and when she came in, I'm like, yep, there's our Lisa.
Yeah, it was perfect. And I thought Seth Rogen was pretty fun in that part. That was funny.
What I didn't like was what's his name, Josh Hutcherson.
Oh yeah, it's Danny.
I hated his wig. I hated it. It was distracting.
Yeah. Yeah, some of the wigs and hair choices were a little strange.
We talked about it, but I don't know if you made it clear. But they have a side by side scenes as shot for the disaster artists, right next to the scenes as they were in the room, and they have them playing during the credits side by side, and it's just very enjoyable to watch. It's one of the best parts of the film.
Really good. I also that was amazing, and they really got it perfect. And Jackie Weaver as the mother she was great. I thought just as I love her as an actress, and she was really good. Anyway, it was just a really sweet little movie about how the power of sort of creating something. It was about friendship. It was about dreaming. It was about all this stuff, and that yes, it might be the worst thing ever, but you made something. He made something. He did it, and it became this thing. So, so yeah, I don't know what grade would you give it? Give the Disaster Artist?
Oh, I gave it an A.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's definitely my top 15 of the year so far.
Yeah, I think I had it at 17, but like I'm going back and forth. It's not a final ranking yet, right. But I really liked it. I thought it was really sweet, and so I'm glad I saw it. This is an R-rated film, just for some of my viewers to know. It does have some nudity and some other things, but I think if you've seen The Room, I think you can handle seeing this.
Right. Yeah, it has less nudity than The Room, actually.
Yeah, it does. That's true. So, all right. Well, thanks for joining me. This was really fun. And make sure you guys watch the podcast or listen to the podcast that we're gonna do next, and to find out what we're excited for about the winter season coming up. So, all right. Well, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, the David Healy, or find me on Facebook and Film Freaks. It's a Facebook group about movies. I think it's facebook.com/filmfreaksgroup.
Awesome. Well, thanks again. And you can find me at Smiling Alabasca on social media and here at Rachel's Reviews. So thanks, and we will talk again soon.